Hello, everyone. This is Rockies Week in Baseball. Well, this week the Rockies finally head home after a 7-game road trip where they did not start off very well. However, maybe the home cooking and the thin air will help the Rockies, and we'll find out in this episode. In this episode, we will recap 3 games against the Atlanta Braves and 3 more games against the San Diego Padres. All right, so we'll start with the 3 games against the Atlanta Braves. Game 1 was Brandon McCarthy versus German Marquez. And for the first 3 innings, not a whole heck of a lot. But starting in the top of the 4th, Freddie Freeman with a leadoff single. Then Nick Markakis with a single puts runners on. Actually, leadoff double by Freddie Freeman. Then a single brings home Freeman. That made it 1-0 Braves. After following Markakis' single, Kurt Suzuki with an RBI triple. That made it 2-0. And then after Preston Tucker grounded out, Dansby Swanson with an RBI single. That made it 3-0, ending the scoring in the top half of the 4th. The Rockies would claw back into this game in the bottom half of the 5th. Ian Desmond with a leadoff walk. He goes to third on a Gerardo Parra single. The bases were loaded when Trevor Story was hit by a pitch. Chris Iannetta grounded into a double play. A run scored, but no RBI. And then German Marquez lined out to third to end the inning. So after 5 complete, it was 3-1. The Rockies would cut more into that lead in the bottom half of the 6th. Charlie Blackmon with a leadoff triple. And then DJ LeMahieu with a sacrifice fly. That made it 3-2. And that would end the night for McCarthy. He went 6 innings, giving up 2 runs, and had a chance for the win. However, the Braves bullpen became a dumpster fire. We'll start with Peter Moylan. Starting to pitch the bottom half of the 7th. Leadoff single by Ian Desmond, then a single by Gerardo Parra put runners on first and second. Trevor Story singled to load the bases, and then Chris Iannetta hit a little dribbler up along the third base line. This is Jose Ramirez pitching. He fields, but throws it away down the line. 1 run would score, unearned, of course. And that made it 3-2. Ryan McMahon pinch hitting. He walked. That made it 3. Actually, that made it 3-3. The walk to McMahon made it 4-3. And then a walk to Blackmon made it 5-3. And then DJ LeMahieu with an RBI single. That made it 6-3. And then the final runs came when Shane Carl came in. He struck out Nolan Arenado, but gave up a 2-run double to Carlos Gonzalez. And then Ian Desmond with a sacrifice fly, and ending a 7-run inning. And that would be all the scoring. The Rockies would win the game 9-3. Desmond with a perfect day with 2 walks, a sacrifice fly, and a single. And that would be about all. Kurt Suzuki had an RBI. He went 3 for 4 on the day for the cause for the Braves. All right, game 2 in Colorado against the Braves. This was Anibal Sanchez against Chad Bettis. The Rockies would draw first blood. DJ LeMahieu 1-out double, and then Carlos Gonzalez hits it high, deep into that thin air, and that ball is gone. 2-out, 2-run homer. That puts the Rockies up 2-0. Then the Braves come back, whittle away at the lead. Top half of the fourth, Nick Markakis with a leadoff home run. That made it 2-1 Rockies. The Braves tie the game in the top half of the fifth. One out walk to Ozzie Albies. He goes to third on a Freddie Freeman double. And then Nick Markakis with a sacrifice fly. That tied the game at 2. Okay, so then it remains scoreless as we go to the bottom of the ninth. The Braves had their chance in the top half of the ninth, or actually bottom half of the eighth. However, Ender Enciarte was not clutch with 2 outs. And instead of it being a single, they say the ball did not hit the ground, and a nice diving stop by LeMahieu ended the rally there. So we go to the bottom of the ninth with Sam Freeman pitching in his second inning of relief. Ian Desmond with a leadoff single. He steals second and forces the overthrow by Carlos Perez. That put a runner on third. And then Gerardo Parra says, "Everybody drive home safely." Walk-off single for Parra. That gives the win to Mike Dunn, I believe, who pitched the eighth. Actually, no, that goes to Adam Ottavino. He pitched the last out in the eighth and the full ninth. And then Freeman gets the loss. Let's see if we could give anybody some props. Dansby Swanson went 1 for 2 with a walk and a hit batter. Markakis had the solo home run, but that's about it. So now we move on to the final game of the series, and a lot more of the same for the Rockies. This is Sean Newcomb against Kyle Freeland. Rockies again, bottom half of the first, opportunistic. DJ LeMahieu leadoff double, and then with 2 outs, Trevor Story with a RBI single. That made it 1-0 Rockies. The Braves answer right back. Nick Markakis leads off the top half of the second. Swing and a drive, deep right field, gone. So Markakis ties up the game at 1. However, the Rockies come back in the bottom half of the third. DJ LeMahieu with a leadoff triple, and then Chris Iannetta with an RBI single. That made it 2-1. The Rockies would add an insurance run off of Shane Carl in the bottom half of the seventh. Leadoff double by Mike Tauchman. Yeah, no, that's not a mistake, and that's the same guy who started the year with the Yankees in 2019. Then this is Ryan McMahon pinch hitting again. Bleeds a single through that puts runners on first and third. And then LeMahieu getting involved in the scoring again. Sacrifice fly, that scores Tauchman. And that makes it 3-1. Wade Davis pitches a scoreless ninth for the save. Freeland goes 7 to get the win, giving up 1 run on 5 hits. So good outing for Kyle Freeland as the Rockies get the sweep. And then we'll see how well they do when the San Diego Padres come to town. And, well, the 3-game winning streak would not last. This is Clayton Richard against John Gray. The scoring starts in the top half of the second inning, Corey Spangenberg with a leadoff home run in the top of the second, and it's 1-0 Padres. And then the second run of the game came in the 5th inning. Hashtag pitchers who rake. Clayton Richard, using that number 6 hit pitcher hitting card, smacks a home run. Actually, it was off of the pitcher's card. Smacks a home run off of Gray. And that would be it. He'd give, because Gray batted in the bottom of the 5th, so they just replaced him then with Tauchman. And that's all your scoring. The closest the Rockies got to runs, bottom of the sixth, they had a 2-out rally, Arenado single and a Story double, but Ian Desmond grounds out to end the inning. The Rockies loaded the bases with 2 outs in the eighth, but Carlos Gonzalez could not deliver off of Craig Stammen. So the three-game winning streak ends for the Rockies in game 1 of the series. Richard went 6 innings to get the win. He did not allow a run over 6 innings. He got the win. However, the lack of runs did not continue for the Rockies. In the other 2 games, Joey Lucchesi and Tyler Anderson in game 2. This was actually we'll get to the final score. Once again, the first inning runs, when you load up the top of your lineup with talent, it's probably going to deliver. Bottom half of the first, LeMahieu with a single, goes to second when Iannetta was hit. Seeing eye single by Arenado loads the bases. And then Ian Desmond with a walk with the bases loaded scores a run. However, Lucchesi would bear down. Parras flew out to center and Valaika struck out. So that ended the bottom half of the first. The Padres would add their own with a little 2-out magic in the third. After the first 2 were out, Manny Margot with a single, and then Jose Perella with a 2-out, 2-run homer. That made it 2-1 Padres. However, that would not be pretty after that for the Padres pitching staff. Bottom half of the fourth, Tyler Anderson with a 1-out single. He goes to second on a DJ LeMahieu single, and then Chris Iannetta going yard, 3-run homer with 1 out. That puts the Rockies up 4-2. They would go up 5-2 with Robbie Erlin pitching. Nolan Arenado goes deep and gone, and that made it 5-2. The Padres try to make it interesting with Mike Dunn pitching. Perella leadoff double, scores on an Eric Hosmer single. However, Hunter Renfroe hits into a double play. That kind of ends the threat. Matt Scherr hit a double, but was stranded there when Scott Ober gets Freddie Galvis to fly out to center field, and then the Rockies just put it away off of Adam Simber. Talkman with a walk. He got Carlos Gonzalez to strike out, but he would not get anybody else out. RBI triple for LeMahieu. RBI single by Iannetta after Arenado strikes out. Single by Trevor Story puts runners on first and second. And then with Phil Maton coming in the game, Ian Desmond with an RBI 2-run triple. That's 4 runs for the inning, and that makes it 9-3 Rockies. Lucchesi would go 5 innings, giving up 4 runs for the loss. Anderson went 6 for the win. Now the final game of the series, this was Luis Perdomo against German Marquez. And, well, there was an interesting brawl that happened in this game, but I can't really replicate that, so I just I did my own little thing here. I'll tell you what happened. Top half of the first, the Padres get out front, change of pace. After Freddie Galvis hits into a double play, Eric Hosmer doubles, and then Jose Perella with an RBI triple, and then scores on a wild pitch to make it 2-0. Now, the bottom half of the third, Marquez leads off with a single. He goes to third on a double by LeMahieu, and then scores on a Gerardo Parra single. Now, or on an RBI groundout. Now, in the real game, Nolan Arenado they threw a pitch behind him, and it caused a big brawl, and there was a lot of ejections. However, the best I could do is I'm going to have Nolan Arenado strikes out, and he took great umbrage with the umpire kicking dirt on him. And he's going to hear from the league office. He'll appeal this. He already heard from the league office. They said you're going to be suspended 2 games, and he is going to appeal, but he will not win that appeal. So we'll play the next couple games, but then we'll sit a few because of suspension. However, come the bottom half of the fourth, maybe they were inspired by Arenado's fire. Let's just say this. The Rockies sent 13 men to the plate. They scored 8 runs. I'm not even sure I want to go through all of this. Perdomo doesn't last. He lasts 3 1/3. Buddy Bauman came in, did not get anybody out with 4 he got 1 out with 4 batters with the fielder's choice. And then Adam Simber came in, and he got 1 out and 4 batters. And then somehow pitched a scoreless 5th. The Rockies, or the Padres added a run in the 6th. Carlos Asuaje with a leadoff home run. And then after Corey Spangenberg doubled, that was it for Marquez. Antonio Senzatella came in. He walked A.J. Ellis, but got Charlie Villanueva Carlos Villanueva to line out to third, and Franchi Cordero, who actually had a good day, 2 for 4 with a walk. Got him to ground out to third. Senzatella would pitch an inning and 2/3 to help bridge the gap to Adam Ottavino and Jake McGee, although McGee would give up a run in the 9th. The Rockies would add 2 in the bottom of the 7th. All in all, a 13-4 victory. That puts the Rockies' record at 6-7. I think I'm going to go back to doing a game per series, because I didn't really want to do any, I could have done a Braves one, but I'd rather wait until they get Acuna to start doing them, because that's when they really take off. So I think I'm going to do the final game of the series, Tyler Anderson against Steven Strasburg. I know Scherzer has a start, but I'm sure there's Scherzer replays going to happen, or I might do one later on. And then the next series is a 3-game series against the Pirates. I will do game 2 of that series. Chad Bettis, I think it's against Mike Williams. That will be and then there's one game after that. After the final game of the Pirates series will be another Rockies weekend baseball. So I will continue to do full games. I know I've been really slow doing this, but I've gotten other things happening in life right now. So I will try to, get these done in a timely manner. So for those that enjoy this, can still get their content. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. If you have not already, if you would please drop the like, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you have not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, then hit that bell icon. You'll be notified of any new videos. And whatever games you are playing, may your games be lively and your games be good. Have a good night, everybody.